Shalom, shalom, my brothers and my sisters around the world. I'm Brother Kadiliel, and I'm sitting here with a very powerful, very dedicated, committed young brother right here. And I'm excited to go over a couple points and, express to you all what he's doing and what he has in store for all of us in the oncoming months to come. So with no further ado, Brother Palau, can you, just tell the people, about yourself?
No doubt, man. I'm Brother Palau. I'm a chairman of an NGO that we have in East Africa. I'm also, one of the many ambassadors when it comes to bringing our people together around the world. So yeah, that's pretty much who I am, or what I do. I'm a revolutionary, so.
Yeah, like I said, powerhouse. All right, so again, man, it's an honor and pleasure, man. And just to give everyone a brief history about who I am. I'm born and raised in Tallahassee, Florida. I went through the cycles of life just like everybody else. Finished K through 12 school, went to college, graduated from FAMU. Whoop-de-whoop. And along that journey, I actually discovered, my identity as a Hebrew Israelite. And, as we all come into the truth, we all have our different ways of, coming into that type of enlightenment. But for my journey, I actually traveled and went to Israel. I got that experience. I stayed in Israel for about 6 to 7 years. And within those time frames, I've been back and forth to Kenya, which right now we in Kenya. So, that's just a little brief history of who I am. And, this ain't about me right now. We're going to focus on Brother Palau. I'll come a little afterwards. But Brother Palau, you said, you created the NGO. It's called the Children's Bread. Can you give the brothers and sisters, a bit of a background scoop on what that is?
The NGO, the Children's Bread, it's a name. We came up with the name of a bunch of us, the brothers and sisters that throughout East Africa. It's a group of us throughout East Africa, throughout Kenya, throughout Tanzania. And we came up with this name, the Children's Bread. And also, not only that, one of the brothers came up with that name, Brother Adawam, and we actually ran with that name, and we was like, what, let's use that name. So and that was the name of the NGO. But with the NGO, I'm the founder of the NGO, along with another sister who's not within the NGO anymore, but she helped me establish this NGO, or found it, and then eventually we made it official legally. So but when it comes to that, that's how the NGO started. Us just seeing what is needed out here in East Africa, and then we seen what's needed, and then we just implemented this NGO, this fight against poverty campaign.
Yeah, and not too long ago, actually last year, sometime around in June 2023, that's when I first met my brother Palau. I was like, man, you've been doing all that. How long you said the NGO been in effect?
We've been established about 2-3 years now. Yeah, about 2-3 years.
Powerful. So let me ask you this, right? What is the overall, direction, scope, vision for the Children's Bread NGO, which is non-governmental organization?
Yeah. NGO, non-governmental organization, like you said, or some people call it non-profit organization. But the overall goal is for us to actually be able to, strategically fight against poverty throughout Africa, starting in Africa first, because this is the poorest continent, but then eventually around the world, setting up different hubs, different branches around the world that's, want to fight against poverty along with the other branches that we have set up. So that's the goal, to make sure that we have pretty much a certain institution set up throughout the world to where we are specifically targeting, poverty within, specific countries, that's dealing with that on a high level.
Wow. Whew, all right. Yeah, brother on the mission, man. Brother on the mission. All right, so we just talked about the NGO, right? It's Children's Bread. But now we're actually having an interview, and we're going to be discussing some programs or some functions that's coming outside of the NGO.
Yeah.
So right here we have a poster that reads, "The Children's Bread presents the ZEPHANIAH, chapter 2, verse 1, African Conference, East Africa 2024. And the caption on this is, "Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together. Oh, nation, not desire." Man. So I'm gonna ask you, man. So it got a little bit of bullet points. So we're gonna go line for line. So let me ask you. It says, "How do we bring Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1 to life?"
That's important. We brothers and sisters, we like to, talk a lot and be like, we gotta come together, we gotta do this, we gotta, but how do we really bring that to life? How do we really bring that to fruition? So that's what this conference is about. It's about implementing these things. You know what I'm saying? We have these things set up, and then it's about implementing these things. Like, I work with brothers and sisters now, that created a whole constitution for the nation. A whole legit constitution. For a whole legit constitution.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We open for criticism. Maybe to fix it up, to make it to where it's agreed upon.
Right.
Within those who want to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? This governmental construct that we're trying to create. Amongst the different Hebrew Israelite communities throughout the world.
So that's how we bring it to life, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I see it's already being brought to life. It's just about you being a part of it, All right, so it also says building African Hebrew diaspora institutions.
Yeah, man, that's important right there. Going back to like we done with talking, and then that's why I respect the Mona community. For what they got.
Yeah, that's my people's right there.
Yeah, the Mona, I respect the work ethic. You know what I'm saying with them. I may not agree everything doctrinal, but forget that. I respect the work ethic and what we practically trying to build and what we building. You know what I'm saying, and that right there is important. So we take models like that. We take on things that different models we can create. You know what I'm saying, and we start developing these African, diaspora communities throughout Africa. And why Africa? Because Africa is very, very important, man.
Right, it's the motherland, man. It's a true Eden, paradise on earth, man. All right. So let's go to the next point. So it's creating our own governmental construct as Israelites. Now that's deep. I'm gonna tell you this because I can feel that. Because coming into that truth and that consciousness, okay, I identify as a Hebrew Israelite, but now how do we begin to build like Israelites?
Exactly. How do we take? One thing that I do like to say that I got from the Mona. Take the book and bring it to life. Take it. We take what we got there, bring it to life. So how can we create this? A nation. How can we really play this out? You know what I'm saying? Is this possible to play this out with all our doctrinal differences? Is it possible? Yeah, it is. So, so taking that model, of bringing things to life, this is how we're going to create these different, these things out here, these different institutions, these different hospitals that we need, these different schools that we need. That's how we're going to create these schools as African Hebrew Israelites. We're going to create these things, create these models, create these things, even with the differences, but we will be connected by the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? We'll be connected, so we'll be diplomats. Like I'm saying, I'm one of many different, ambassadors. You know what I'm saying? Be different ambassadors for different communities.
I can feel that.
Representing, you know what I'm saying, different diplomats representing for different communities. But we all agreeing on this construct, on this constitution that we created. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we're gonna, start actually operating as a governmental people, as a people that have their own kingdom.
That makes sense. Yeah, that make complete sense. Because it's too much division, outside of what we doing, and we can't be sucked into that same, unproductive energy because we've been through so much already.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to begin to focus on hey, how can we serve y'all in a capacity where we all can benefit and we all can agree, outside of
Exactly.
those little small disagreements and that. Okay, let's move to the next one. I can't even read it.
It's building self-reliant communities in Africa. Why is that? Because first we talked about earlier, Africa is the motherland. It is the motherland, but not only is the motherland, but you have one of the best opportunities out here in Africa to build, something self-reliant for you and your family. And not just for you and your family, but also for a community, because it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to raise a child. So, we build these self-reliant communities to where with that we're fighting against poverty with that, we developing our own schools with that, with that we developing our own, medical centers with that. So it's important to have something self-reliant so we're not depending wholeheartedly on governments. We depending on our own system, our own government. Wow. So that's why it's important for us to start, really start building these self-reliant, really start having our own farms, start having our own agriculture centers and trading within each other, within our community, within our governmental structure. We can trade within each other, and trade outside of our governmental structure. So this is how we're going to do this. But first we have to acquire land. We have to acquire it the right way, the legal way. Everything has to be done, and we have to be able to set these things up in a certain way to where we being recognized as a nation by other governments. So that's like the key. Self-reliant is going to make us be recognized as our own nation when we are self-reliant.
Okay, that's clear. So all of this, the answers are spot on, man. The responses to each of the questions, I think everybody would agree that, man, pulling this off is worth the struggle, the battles, because I know there's been a lot of battles.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's all based from, like you say, the brothers and sisters, they already came together and they done developed. So Palau, tell us, why Africa? Why is it so important?
I believe Africa, is pretty much like Noah's Ark. I believe it's the final frontier. When it comes to things, it's the beginning and it's also going to be the end, where everything is going to go back to the beginning at, So Africa, and it's important. It has so much rich history here, so much different ethnic groups out here that can help us develop these, diaspora communities. I did my DNA. I'm 85% African. You know what I'm saying?
What?
68, like 70% of my DNA is in Nigeria. And then it splits up, the rest of the percentage, divide amongst up throughout Central Africa and East Africa. And that makes up my whole 85%. So I'm 85%, African. I'm African. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
At the core. So, and the Africans and brothers and sisters that's here on this continent, and when we link up with them, we able to make a difference. We able to make a change, a real change, starting here in Africa. You know what I'm saying? First, we make a very powerful change. The light will shine out of Africa. Lights will shine everywhere else around the world, but the light will shine the brightest here in Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So,
wow. Coming here from Brother Palau, man. I gotta say it again, powerhouse brother for real. With all this positive talk, man, and all of this, stuff to look forward to as the Hebrew Israelite family, from the diaspora, from us working together in the continent, we spread it throughout. But the next question is, think about those who are not on our side, those who we kind of, going against, through whatever the situation may be, what is it that they fear most about all of this, positivity and uprising of the nation of Israel?
Well, they definitely fear the awakening of a black man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely of an African American. They definitely feel that awakening, and they fear that if that African American tap in back to his roots and tap back in with his African family that's on the continent,
right?
You know, and them two link in together, you know, that would make a whole. It would change the dynamics. It would tilt the dynamics of this world, and their control of the world. It would tilt it. Things would start changing when we start connecting. It's a big disconnection between Africans and African Americans. You know, the biggest disconnection on both ends. You know, miseducation on the Africans' ends, miseducation on the African American end.
Right.
You know, if we can find a way to dismantle that miseducation, you know, then we will be a force to reckon with, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I can see, you know, how that could be, you know, a bit fearful in a way, because, you know, you let the African or the black man tap back into his roots. We already strong, you know, without, you know, having those deep roots, you know, from the historical past. But just imagine us being able to get back to that kingship and back to that, you know, godly or that yali mindset.
Yeah.
It's an unstoppable energy.
It's definitely, you know, like I said, I'm African, but one thing is what's important is that for the African Americans, for the diaspora, we are the lost tribes of Africa. We don't know what tribe we come from throughout Africa. We don't know. We don't know what Bantu tribe. We don't know what Niger Congo family we come through. Even if we do DNA, they'll give us they may give us, you know, enough information, but we don't know specifically, you know what I'm saying, or what tribe of African, because there's many different ethnic groups out here. So we the lost African tribe, you know, the diaspora. You know, so it's important for us to tap in with the brothers and sisters on the continent. You know. So
it's coming down to this boiling question, right? So we see a lot of disaster. We see a lot of chaos, right? We hear rumors of wars, you know, and it's just like, you know, it seems like it's the last days. You know, it's always something coming out on the news, floods, earthquakes. So my question is, when will this betterment of mankind, you know, come about? You know.
Yeah, when we make that, when we want to make that change, you know, that's when it's the animals waiting for us. Like if we stop eating meat, you know, all the time, and, you know, and all that, then the animals be like, what? They're not eating us no more. So it's like, and then with the children, if they see older, you know, people not, you know, doing things that they shouldn't be doing, you know, giving off bad influences, then, you know, the children is not going to be raised, you know, in those environments.
Right. It's like a domino effect, huh?
Exactly.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much we have to really start changing it and really be like, you know what? Let's create our own system. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the system. You know what I'm saying? Let's create our own institutions outside of their institutions. You know what I'm saying? Let's create our own internet outside of that internet. You know what I'm saying? Let's start going in that direction, because even if we create our own society, we still have to deal with their internet, and if we deal with their internet, it can influence, you know, the communities.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's been a lot of situations where I've been seeing, like, you know, all those major publishing broadcast platforms where a lot of people trying to speak the truth, and they've been shut down, if not canceled, you know, for, you know, spitting a lot of fire out on the web. You know what I'm saying? So that's true. I get you.
Yeah. So we just gotta be able to create our. If we're kings and queens, we're gods and goddesses. What we have to do, then let's create our own. Let's create our own. We don't. No disrespect to the Chinese man. No disrespect to the you know, the Europeans. No disrespect to the Indian man. You know what I'm saying? But they have their own. They have their own, and they come into Africa and taking and creating their own in Africa.
Right.
They got their own neighborhood.
We witnessing it every day. I'm just telling you, man.
Chinese people got their own neighborhoods now. You know what I'm saying? Indian people got their own neighborhoods. And you know what I'm saying? So in Africa, they have their own. So why can't we? Let's take back what's ours. You know what I'm saying? Because this land belongs to Africans, you know what I'm saying? So it's ours automatically. So we are entitled, you know what I'm saying? We need to start walking around like we are entitled, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this land that was taken up, it was taken up by, you know, by colonialism, you know what I'm saying? Taking it up that way. By the colonizers coming in, making deals with different tribes, and then, you know, and sorting out the land and going to war and killing, you know, different leaders at that time. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, let's take back what's ours, but let's do it in a political way, but in a practical way, and in a spiritual way. You know what I'm saying? And God gonna fight for us. He'll fight for us. So that's how we gotta do it. So pretty much, you know, when that actually happens, you know, then people will start saying, okay, we will start seeing what we read in Revelations, you know what I'm saying, what we see in Isaiah, what we see in the prophets, that, you know, we won't be, you know, it won't be no killings, you know what I'm saying, people won't be dying of at a young age, you know, people will live longer, you know what I'm saying, what we see in Ezekiel, people will live up over 100 years old, be seen like young. You ain't make it past 100 years old yet? You know what I'm saying, we're gonna get to that level, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna start seeing those things when when the rulership is back in our hands, because we are the ones who have that generosity, that have that that hospitality, that's why they was able to come in and take over, because we gave them open arms, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So, you know, we the ones that have that hospitality, you know what I'm saying, that the world need. You know, we the ones that can do that. You know what I'm saying? That 144,000 that you read in Revelations, that's a governmental system that we have to create. You know what I'm saying? That we have to build the foundation with. And it starts now. It been starting, but the time is ticking, and we putting in more in. We putting in more work. So that way the work we put in this generation, they see this work, and the next generation, they're like, you know what, let's finish what that generation was putting in. You know what I'm saying? So we can have it fully, you know.
Well, I think everybody get a full perspective of this conference, the Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1 African conference that's about to happen in East Africa 2024. So with that being said, my brother Palau,
man,
definitely appreciate it. It's been an honor and a privilege.
Man, I appreciate you too, bro.
So with that being said, there will be more information. You know, if you into this, you know, if you resonate with that Hebrew Israelite energy, you ain't even got to be Hebrew, or you ain't even got to be an Israelite. You want to help, you want to support, definitely follow, and all of the information will be in the chat down below.
Yeah, they can definitely get on the email, the children's bread, the number 12 at gmail.com. So the children's bread 12 at gmail.com. Yeah, reach out to us. You know, you can follow me on any social media. Palau, put the name down. So,
okay, yeah, we're gonna put it there.
Yeah, so they can just, you can just type that in Facebook, type it in Instagram. You'll see me. So yeah, man. You know, that's what it is, bro. You know.
All right, so we're gonna just wrap it up right there, and you know, just look forward for more content like this. And we hope and pray that we've been able to inspire a lot of our brothers and sisters that's in the diaspora, that's even, you know, in the land dealing with whatever they're dealing with. You know, just to let you know, there is a system. There are brothers and sisters that have done, that are doing, and that are going to continue to fulfill our right on this planet. So, hallelujah, hallelujah,
hallelujah. All praise
hallelujah.
to the Most High.